All right, if you remember, last time that we were talking about hot water and cold water having different densities. And if we poured hot water into cold water, the hot water would go underneath and the cold water would rise to the top. Today we're going to talk about different densities with fresh water and salt water. I've taken a glass here and I've added quite a bit of salt to it. And just wanted to make sure that it's all mixed together. Now both waters here, the salt water and this blue, I'm going to add a couple more drops of blue, fresh water just came from my sink, are both the same temperature water. They both came right from the tap right over here. So I believe all the salt has been dissolved, and I think we've hit that saturation point. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the salt water into this glass. And now here's kind of the tricky part. So when you start to pour the fresh water in, you're going to try to see what happens as it tries to mix. I kind of have to do a little slow, but it seems to have worked fairly well at this point. Make sure I clean up this stain, or my wife is going to be very upset with me that I stained her marble. Good enough. So, as you can see in this picture here, you have the salt water, which is more dense, it's heavier, and it's going to sink to the bottom. The fresh water stays on the top. It's kind of like in the ocean. In the ocean, the water at the bottom is a lot more salty because all that salt water has sunk to the bottom. It's heavier, it's denser, and the fresh water stays towards the top. So, as you can see, we have a pretty little glass here, but I wouldn't drink it because of the salt water, but it's really kind of pretty. You can kind of see right in the middle, if you get really close, there's that dark blue on the top right here, and the salt water here on the bottom, and in the middle here is a little area of light. It's kind of where the fresh water and the salt water are slowly starting to mix. So there you go. Fresh water, less dense, it's going to stay on the top. Salt water, more dense, it's going to sink to the bottom.